Hello all. Today I would like to discuss you on minimum needs program which was launched by the government of India. It was launched by the government of India in the fifth 5-year plan in the year 1974 to 1978. So this minimum needs program, it was also known as MNP. It was introduced in the first year of the fifth 5-year plan, that is from 1974 to 1978. So the main objective of this program, the sentence itself, it is saying minimum needs, basic needs. Mainly the main objective of the program is to provide certain basic minimum needs and thereby improving the living standards of the people. So it is the expression of commitment of the government for the social and economic development of community, particularly the underprivileged and underserved population. So mainly the minimum needs program was focusing upon the economic development of the community, particularly the people who are underprivileged and underserved population. So coming to the components of the program, rural health. So you all know what is rural health. Rural means all the villages who are living in the villages, where there is no basic requirement for the good standard of living. So they want to provide rural health, mainly focusing on the health of the people who are living in the rural areas. And second one is rural water supply. So if you have seen the previous topic regarding national water and sanitation program, there you can see rural population is only having 25% of the safe drinking water and about 25% of sanitation. So which is not a good sign and which is not a good number. So this minimum needs program, it is mainly focusing upon the rural water supply. And next one is rural electrification. Rural electrification means providing electricity to the rural areas. And the next one is elementary education. So mainly elementary means the children who are about 1 to 5th class, first class to 5th class and some high school education. So they want to provide this elementary education and also they want to give this adult education. So even now also, even today, in today's days also, we are traveling from so many different places to pursue our higher education. Why? Because there are no proper facilities which are available at our near areas. That's what we are going to cities, we are going to towns to study our higher education. So what the government is doing here is, at least it is trying to provide the elementary education as well as the adult education, mainly for the which kind of people? Mainly for the underprivileged and underserved people. So coming to the other part, nutrition. So nutrition is a big issue in the one of the big issue in the rural areas. People are not having sufficient amount of food and people do not meet their daily requirements which were required by the body because of their economic status, poor economic status, and they are unable to buy their requirement. They are unable to buy the required needs. That's what the government of India, it has decided to provide adequate nutrition in the means of lots of other programs such as midday meal program and distributing free rice, distributing free pulses. So all these things will come under this nutritional program. And the next one is environmental improvement of urban slums. So you can see, for example, if you take Dharavi slums, So Mumbai, if you take the Mumbai, it is the economic capital of India. Still the world largest slum, it was located in the city Mumbai, which is known as Dharavi slums. So this is just an example. Likewise, there were many slums which were located in many other cities. There were many other slums which were located in the many others. What are the slums? So slums were nothing but where the people are living closely together, where there is large number of population has been occupying a small place, and more number of people are living in low standard conditions, where there is no proper food supply, where there is no proper water supply, and where there is no proper electrification, and where there is no proper drainage system. People are tend to live closely together there, and even their houses were not in a proper state. So they want to improve the environmental improvement of the urban slums and houses for landless laborers. So the persons who are not having the home, this minimum needs program, it is providing houses for the landless laborers. So these are all the components which were included in the national minimum needs program. Just you can screenshot this screen so that you can get all the programs, all the components which were included in the program. So mainly there are two basic principles which were observed in the implementation of minimum needs program. So where they are mainly focusing on two basic principles. The facilities under MNP are to be first provided to those areas which are at present underserved, and as to remove disparities between different areas. The statement is saying, what it is saying, it mainly want to focus on the present underserved areas which were not looked till now. It want to focus on the areas which were not yet looked, and they want to remove the disparities. Means if you see, some areas were highly concentrated and some areas were less concentrated. Means more development is occurring in some areas and very less amount of development is occurring in some areas, which is creating a disparate between different kind of areas. Means those people are seen in another way, and here these people are seen in another way. So it was causing to a lot of disparities between the different areas. So mainly the facilities of this MNP, mainly the facilities which were provided under the minimum needs program, they want to focus on underserved areas. And the next one is, the facilities under MNP should be provided as a package to an area through intersectoral area projects to have a greater impact. So individually if they are going and distributing things also, it is not a effective manner. So they want to implement the programs of this MNP in an effective manner. If they want to implement in an effective manner, they are providing the area in the form of a package, where the different types of project were taking place, different types of where if they want to construct some pakka houses in such an area, they are providing amount in a kind of package. If they want to construct cement roads, if they want to construct the drainages, all these projects were undertaken in the form of a package, to an area through intersectoral area projects. So all these intersectoral area projects are having a greater impact. So in the field of rural health, what are the objectives that has to be achieved by the end of this 8th 5-year plan? Means, so under this minimum need program, they have created some set of objectives that has to be achieved by the end of 8th 5-year plan. So first one is, mainly they have created some objectives. The first one which I am stressing is 1 PHC, at least one primary health center for 30,000 population in the plains, and at least for 1 PHC for 20,000 population in tribal and hilly areas. So where there are plain areas, there they want to cover at least 1 PHC, one primary health center for 30,000 population. So if you come to tribal and hilly areas, so these tribals, they live in a large areas. These tribes will live in a large areas in different sectors. So for these tribal areas and hilly people, where the transportation is not in a great way, there they want to provide 1 PHC for at least 20,000 population, and where there is in a plain areas and where the transportation is in a good manner, they want to provide 1 PHC for 30,000 population. So coming to the second point, 1 subcenter for at least 5,000 population in the plains and 3,000 in the tribal and hilly areas. So one subcenter, mainly they are, so in the first itself we have seen what is the first component here. Rural health is the first component here. In the same way, mainly the objectives are focusing on the health of the people by providing primary health care centers, by providing sub centers, and by providing rural hospitals, So here in first you can see, for every 30,000 population in plains they want to provide one PHC, and for every 20,000 population in tribal and hilly areas they want to provide one PHC. If you come to the sub center level, they want to provide at least for 5,000 people one sub center for in plain areas, and for 3,000 population one sub center for hilly areas, and one community health center, that is rural hospital, for the population of 1 lakh or more, or one CD block by the year 2000. So by the year 2000 they want to provide at least one rural hospital, that is nothing but one community health center for every 1 lakh population. So you got my point. So these are the some objectives which were included under the minimum needs program. So mainly the establishment of PHCs, sub centers, upgradation of PHCs, and construction of buildings, therefore all included in the state sector of the minimum needs program. And coming to the field of nutrition, see, we have seen regarding rural health, and we are now going to the field of nutrition. Coming to the field of nutrition, what are the objectives? Means to extend nutrition support to 11 million eligible persons. They want to extend the nutrition to 11 million eligible persons, and to expand special nutrition program to all CDS projects, and to consolidate midday meal program and link it to the health and portable water and sanitation program. So these are the objectives which were included in the nutritional program. Mainly they are focusing on nutritional support, and they are focusing on special nutritional program to all the child developmental schemes, and they want to link the midday meal program to health, water and sanitation programs. So these were some nutritional things, and you can see some rural electrification projects, and elementary education projects, environmental improvement of slums, and also houses for the landless laborers. So these are all the components which were included in the minimum needs program. So this is regarding minimum needs program. So if you have any queries regarding this, you can contact me through my WhatsApp and through my email. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening.